All right, we are back with another edition of KZOM Radio Presents How Would You Survive a Zombie Outbreak? I'm your host, Jarbo, and I'm here today with Maeve from San Diego, California. Now, how you doing today, Maeve?
I'm doing fabulous, Jarbo. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. So the question of the hour, the question I always ask is, how would you survive a zombie outbreak? What would you do?
Okay, now I've got multiple evacuation plans when it comes to zombies because they freak me the heck out. But so I need to ask some very specific questions here first. Are we talking zombies from a viral outbreak, or are we talking like magical voodoo zombies?
I've always liked the idea of the zombies from the Romero standings. They're slow-moving, you know, they're a constant wave. The running zombies, you know, they're fun, but they're, I don't know, they seem kind of fake to me. So let's go with the old school walking.
Okay, yeah, because those running zombies from a couple of the new movies out, they just freak me the heck out. Okay, so running zombies, if there was, we're just not going to talk about that, but if there was, I've got an estuary right next to my house. It's right out to the ocean. I've got a desalinization. It's a little pump. I can make fresh water and we can fish. We're good. But slow zombies, that's perfect. I'm down in San Diego, National City, Chula Vista area. I've got 4 horses, 3 horses, 2 mules. Pretty much what my evacuation plan deals a lot with machetes, knives, axes, and getting the heck out of the city via the horse trails up into Cuyamaca, up into the mountains.
Okay.
We all know that zombies walk downhill. All the movies you see about zombies, they're either walking flat or they're going downhill. They do not shamble well uphill.
Yeah, they would definitely have a gravity against them, and that would definitely cut out.
Well,
so,
have you ever seen them shambling up hills? I've never seen them.
I've never seen them go up a hill. I've seen them claw through several other items, like barbed wire fences and whatnot, but never up a hill. But then again, there's always first time for everything.
Well, the second thing is you want to get away from people, lights, and noises. I don't know why it is that zombies ramble so slow and they can always catch you. I guess it's, numbers. They're like ants. They've got the numbers on their side. But they seem to be attracted to screaming virgins and people that think that they're going to shoot their way out of the situation. So loud noise and screaming virgins. So you want to stay away from both of those. If you can possibly get a bicycle, definitely use a bike, because horses, when they smell undead, they shy away from it a little bit, because it's the creep factor.
Yeah.
If you can get anywhere around moving water. So me and my buddies, we actually have a cabin up the mountains. It's fully stocked and certified, pretty much in case of a airborne bird flu.
Like airborne?
The airborne bird flu that the government's been talking about, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay, like the APO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's totally stocked, and so that would be perfect. It's got water on 3 sides of it, and from old zombie mythology, undead don't like crossing moving water. They just don't like it. It has something to do with them being held to the earth.
Yeah.
So water is always your friend. If you can get to water, the zombies probably aren't going to follow you.
Okay.
So I've got, so the cabin's got water on 3 sides. It's up in the mountains. It's got at least 2 months' worth of food in it for 6 or 7 people. It's got a really good basement, and it's just there's knives and axes, and there's no guns. I don't like guns.
But do you think guns would be necessary? I mean, at least for getting away.
Yeah, I think that if they're close enough, and I've never seen one shambling zombie. Okay, I have. In the very beginning, you'll see 1 or 2 shambling zombies. But there are going to be a ton of gun-happy people running around shooting anything that moves. So personally, I don't even want to be around people, especially in San Diego, because they're known for everybody, including my father, has a ton of guns. They're all very NRA here.
There are a lot of guns in San Diego, yes.
A lot of good. Yeah, I was like, it'd be fabulous, especially with Mexico right across the border, especially on Cinco de Mayo. You get a gun. Okay. So, no, I don't think guns are a good idea because zombies, once again, are attracted by noise. So, sure, you shoot 1 or 2 of them, but then you've got, the rest of the flock coming over and checking out the noise. So, no, I don't think guns are a good idea. They're definitely a short fix. And if you're talking dry undead zombies, or if you're talking squishy zombies, I've seen, people shooting into zombies 10, 12, 14 times, and they still walk.
Well, because you have to hit the sweet spot. Got to shoot them in the brain or remove the head. That's like really the only way to.
Brain of the spine. Yeah, but how many people have you ever tried to shoot someone from a distance in the head?
I personally never tried to shoot anyone with anything other than like a paintball gun or an airsoft. But yeah, see, I can understand the average
really
person.
Difficult.
The average person cannot shoot past 20 feet accurately with the gun.
Yeah, and maybe if you've got like a shotgun with some rock salt or something, you can like pelt them and get them really annoyed. But most of my friends, I'm the only one that doesn't like carrying guns, but most of my friends, they're in the military, so they kill people for a living. They're really good shots. We'll be fine up in the mountains, but I'd really prefer if they used, axes, machetes, something that you don't have to worry about not having any more ammo.
True, but you do have to worry about the sharpness factor of the weapon. Now, in your cabin, do you have like a sharpening stone or anything that can do that kind of stuff?
Oh, I have multiple. I've got an axe on my wall, and I always tease my daughters. They're like, "Why do you have a double-headed axe on your wall behind the door?" I'm like, "Oh, that's my zombie axe. If we ever have a zombie attack, I'm prepared."
So that's awesome. So you're instilling zombie survival techniques to your daughters. That's fantastic.
Yeah, well, they know that it's a phobia of mine, and if you're gonna have a phobia, it might as well be, with something that you're probably not gonna run into unless you live in Louisiana. But yeah, so it's not just zombie survival guides that I think I'm really, that I'm working with them. It's survival.
Yeah.
Survival it all, because a crackhead is a lot like a zombie, I'm telling you.
Yeah, this instead of wanting brains, they want crack. And they're like, you got $3.50 for some crack.
Their behavior, they stumble around, they're not really sentient, you can't really, work with them.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you, how would you, so you got a cabin in the woods, it's supplied for 2 months for 7 people, and you have your friends and you have your family. Now, who would you take? Who would be these 7 people that you would take to your cabin, and why?
Oh, see, that would be a hard thing for me because I'm a bleeding heart when, we could save everybody, come on, let's come up to the cabin. And that would be hard. It would definitely be myself, my mother, my 2 daughters, my dad, he's got the keys.
Would you keep those as reserve spots for anyone along the way? Like if you find somebody with a specific skill,
Skill set.
Like the last caller wanted nerds who could program satellites and fly Gulfstream. So there's that. I mean, would you want to find this in San Diego? So you could find a lot of different kind of people. There's mechanics. There's the SCA that's out here. There's
Oh, I'm in the SCA.
Well, yeah, you're in the SCA, so you probably kick everybody's ass.
I do really well in close encounters. That's the other reason I don't do guns, because I was raised with sword and shield and just beating out of the crap.
All right, so you would be in there going sword, shield, horde of zombies, cutting them in pieces. That'd be great. I'd actually like to see that.
Have you ever tried to see them bite through armor?
Yeah.
No, always the chicks with the low-cut shirts that are getting bitten on the neck or the arm.
So what you're saying is, if you're a girl with big tits, definitely don't go anywhere near a zombie because you're going to be screwed.
Yeah, especially if you're not a virgin, because they lust, that non-virginal blood. But, yeah, the last 2 spots, seriously, it would probably go to 2 of my military buddies. Like I said, they kill people for a living, and they've got survival skills, insane. Yeah, they're teddy bears when they're not working, but when they're working, they're scary. So I would definitely bring 2 scary people.
Awesome. So let me ask you, I guess, pretty much the big question, aside from the how would you survive, is what would you do if you were bit? Would you kill yourself? Would you wait to help as many people as you could before you returned, or would you just take on that life as a zombie?
Oh, negative. No, there's no way I would take on the life of a zombie. Are we talking you bite and you die?
Yeah,
bite and you just feel like crap.
A bite and you will succumb eventually. It's just it.
Okay. Yeah, if I got bitten, definitely I would make sure, I could help out as best as I could and, have the guys take me out back and chop off my head. Say my goodbyes, I love you, don't let this happen to you kind of thing. There's no way that I would live as a zombie. Okay,
so you have your plan all the way till the out in case that ever happens. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty in depth. You would go out to middle of nowhere and you already have it stocked, and so you've been thinking about this. That's amazing. And that's really all the time we have for this week. Thank you very much, Maeve, for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Rose, for having me.
Awesome. And as always, you guys can reach us at youtube.com/KZOM Radio, or you can message us on there if you want to be on the show. So until next week, we'll see you guys later, and think of ways of how you'd survive a zombie outbreak. Bye.